Hi, my name is Gabrielle Harris, and I have the pleasure of serving Base 11 as the Chief of Staff and Interim Parity Project Program Manager. And I am guested here and honored to be with our alpha cohort of the Parity Project Innovation Challenge. And so I just want to jump right in. Tell us who you are, tell us what you do in a day-to-day, and we can start with Ms. Jasmine Bach.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Jasmine Backus. I'm currently a financial analyst at Microsoft as part of the FRP program there, and I was one of the university winners for the PIC.
And over to Kiante Bush.
Hey, everyone. It's a pleasure to be before you all. My name is Kiante Bush. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm a two-time graduate of the National Treasure Morgan State University, and I'm currently an associate manager at Accenture, and also one of the grand prize winners for the Parity Project Innovation Challenge. Pleasure to be before you guys.
Wonderful. Hi, Kiante. And then over to Chanda.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chanda Lawrence, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, where I'm getting my PhD in inorganic chemistry. Specifically, I work with nanoparticles, and it's an honor for me to be here with you all.
It's a pleasure to have you all here. And so you represent our inaugural cohort for the Parity Project Innovation Challenge. Would you just go over what your winning ideas were? And we can start with whoever wants to start first.
Yeah, I'll hop back in. So my project was the BFlex, the Black Fashion Lab for executives and entrepreneurs. And essentially what that is, it is creating this three-pronged approach to tackling an issue in the fashion industry right now, which is that a lot of luxury brands are really investing into the metaverse spaces. I know we all hear about Web3 and blockchain and all those buzzwords. A lot of luxury brands are investing in that, but a lot of Black designers are being left out of those rooms and conversations. And, when you think about what avatars and virtual fashion looks like, Black designers are left out. So I wanted to create a project. It was a handbag where every single bag, part of the proceeds would go towards creating a fund for Black fashion designers. And that fund, the designers could use that to explore how they could integrate Web3 and NFTs into their own businesses. So it was a way to help achieve parity in the AR/VR space for Black entrepreneurs.
Kiante Bush, can you tell us more about Venture for Them?
Definitely. So my concept was called Venture for Them, and T.H.E.M is an acronym meaning Tech High Performers and Entrepreneurial Minorities. And what we are is a startup accelerator specifically geared for early stage Black and brown tech entrepreneurs. And our goal is to help bridge parity and bridge the wealth gap. And I'm a firm believer that we can do that through investing in tech concepts within our community. They can be the next big thing. For instance, I'm sure all of us have seen recently that Twitter was recently acquired for $44 billion. And so I imagine that, that type of profit could be a game changer for underserved communities. And so what we're doing is we're working with some awesome mobile apps and awesome software companies that are early stage, and we believe that they could be the next billion-dollar companies. We recently launched in January, and we've invested over $10,000 into Black and brown businesses. We've curated various workshops. We've connected hundreds of entrepreneurs and investors, and we're just getting started. So honored to be before you guys.
Wonderful. I love that. And Chanda, can we talk about Microhaven?
Yeah, so Microhaven is the project that I pitched, and it's permanent supportive housing for people experiencing homelessness, and it's tokenized on the blockchain so that it can be fractionally owned by non-accredited investors, and they're actually the ones who fund the building and the support of the structure. And so I think everyone's familiar with affordable housing, but permanent supportive housing is a step up because it not only provides housing for people experiencing homelessness, but also resources such as job training, mental health support, drug and alcohol abuse counseling, and other resources that will help prevent the individual from returning on the streets. And then not only that, instead of relying fully on government funding, we're utilizing the blockchain to help fund the project. So that way, not only are we helping people experiencing homelessness, but we're also allowing non-accredited investors to become property owners.
That's major. That's major. And I have a follow-up question about that, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the tour. So I had a pleasure of joining you all as we went to New York, and you all pitched to J.P. Morgan Chase. We went to D.C., and you met with high officials at the White House, as well as when you went to the Bahamas for a meeting with the Grand Relay, Sigma Chi Phi. Now, I want to know, out of everyone that you met, out of all the connections that you did and the conversations you had, what really stuck out for you that really allowed you to like say, you know what, my idea is viable in the real world. Let me like run with it. Jasmine, if you want to jump in.
Yeah. So at least for me, Chanda and I had a really cool moment when we were in the Bahamas, where we were able to pitch our concepts to a really prominent member of the VC community. And I would say that was really like a pivotal moment for me. Sitting down with someone who's been an early investor in many tech companies that have gone on to have revenues of multi-million dollars, to have them, sit with us and give us their time and expertise and talk through our pitch deck. At least that was a moment for me where I realized like I can really move my idea forward and make something happen.
If you want to follow up on that, or if you have a different experience, want to talk to it?
The experience that Jasmine mentioned was one of the best experiences that I had during the trip. Also, when we were in the Bahamas, I got to meet former mayor of Baltimore, Kurt Schmoke, and he actually connected me to the current mayor of Baltimore and his Office of Homeless Services. So that was like a really great opportunity for me to like really pitch my idea to a community that could actually help bring the idea into fruition. And so, really just all the connections that I made throughout the process really solidified my confidence in the project.
Chanda, you hit on something I was going to ask you later, but thank you for that. I'm still going to ask you about that meeting because we all want to know. And Kiante, just the same question to you, like any conversation or touch point that really cemented for you that, you know what, venture for them, because obviously it's viable, but might have given you more like passion to continue to move forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think almost every experience we had kind of just added on to it, like just layer by layer, like even just thinking about like the White House. President Jones and I kind of laugh about that because I'm from the DC area, never been to the White House, closest I got was to the gate, and so we kind of laugh about that and just being able to share with my friends and family that, hey, we were actually in the White House, advocating for our concepts we're working on, literally in there sharing what we're working on with high-level executives. So that was huge for me. Definitely loved, J.P. Morgan and ELC, being able to connect with so many influential individuals with what we're sharing. And then also to echo Chanda and Jasmine as well, even at the Bahamas, having people come to us after our presentation, people of influence, people who've worked with companies, that have invested in companies, and just saying, hey, I love what you're working on. I'd love to invest in you. I would love to invest in your concept. I feel like that took all of our confidence to the next level. Like, okay, we're working with something here. We knew we were working with something, but now, we just know that we know. And so from there, I feel like it lit a fire in us to just keep the ground, hit the ground running and keep the pace and continue to persevere with our goals and our objectives.
That's amazing, Kiante. And I want to follow up with you because on September 17th, you had an event, Venturepalooza. And so I just want to know kind of tell me about the event. How did that, how was it? And kind of, I believe Chanda was there also. Mm-hmm. Were you able to attend, Chanda? Okay, so talk to me about that. I just need to know.
Yeah, definitely. Venturepalooza was amazing. The whole purpose of it was, I feel as though, the East Coast, we don't always get as much love when it comes to the startup ecosystem and the venture capital industry and so forth. So my goal was to really just bring the local community together, the community of, tech founders, the community of VCs and entrepreneurs and other just local DMV industry professionals just under one roof to maybe just relax, hair down, have a cool social time out in DC, but also to maybe even bridge connections, maybe somebody could be your next co-founder or your next investor. So ultimately, that was the whole goal of Venturepalooza. Also to celebrate our inaugural cohort after they had graduated in May, so to celebrate them, and also just kind of let people know, okay, we're here. We've been doing a lot of virtual workshops, but now we do have an in-person presence, and we want to continue that. We want to take it to new cities. We're working on possibly having the next one in New York next year. So I want to just expand Venturepalooza, but it was amazing. We had live music, we had a saxophonist, a DJ, we had appetizers, and it was just an awesome time to just, celebrate what we're all working on and come together and collaborate. And so I'm excited for the next one.
I'm excited too. I wasn't able to be there. Chanda, I'm going to let you speak on that too, but I saw the promo videos on LinkedIn and they are chef's kiss, bro, just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so the overall vibe of Venturepalooza was just really great. It was really encouraging as a Black entrepreneur. I was able to network and meet with some other entrepreneurs and kind of expand my network. And I'm just really Kiante actually reserved a ticket for me, and so I felt like a VIP a little bit. And it was really great seeing him again after our experience over the summer. And so yeah, it was a really great experience.
It's beautiful. Jasmine, the last time that we spoke, you were taking a break from your internship to join us for a pitch tour with Riot Games, and now you are in Boston with Microsoft. So tell me about your life. How is it at Microsoft?
Yeah, no, things have been well. Since we all last spoke, I was able to start, my first full-time job. So I moved to Boston. I'm working at Microsoft. I'm based at their Cambridge research office, and then I'm doing a fellowship with Kiante Bush. So we're heading to Ghana next week, and we're going to be doing a big photo shoot, and we're pitching to Kiante executives. I'm picking some Web3 stuff, and getting into that metaverse space there. And I've just been getting plugged in with the fashion community in Boston, the VC community in Boston, and that's just been really, really awesome. So it's been a good move.
I love that. And I love how close Alpha Cohort are. I just love you guys. So I want to just ask you, if you were to speak to a student, or early career adult, someone who has never really heard about the Parity Innovation Challenge, Parity Project, what would you say to convince them, motivate them to join next year and be a part of cohort? Should we say Deuce? We haven't come up with a name yet.
Aren't they the beta cohort if we're the alpha cohort?
Okay. That's a working title. I like it. Any words of encouragement or insight now that you have traversed the journey first? You've really paved the way.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm sure Chanda, you have to tell your story about applying, because I know that's really inspirational to a lot of people. At least for me, when I saw the first challenge, when it was first posted, I've talked to you guys about how I'm into the fashion space, and, I saw Base 11 was all about STEM, and I worried that, being a fashion girly and pitching that to a STEM organization would not be well received. And so my encouragement, and I obviously won, and since then I've had tons of support, and it's been an amazing community, and, I just want to encourage other people who may feel like they don't come from, the proper background to be in a STEM-based competition. Whatever cool perspective you have, wherever you come from, whatever you want to solve the problem, please apply, because I think I can say that they're really open to just creative, good, innovative ideas, and STEM can touch all industries.
I'll go next. So I came up with the idea for Microhaven because I was just kind of binge watching YouTube videos about blockchain, and I came across a video about fractionalization of luxury apartments in New York. And the first thing I thought of was why are they not doing this for other types of housing, specifically affordable housing or permanent supportive housing? And so I pitched the idea at a competition at my university earlier this year, and I didn't get selected. So I thought, okay, maybe people don't really like the idea, or it's too early to try to pitch something like that. And so when I came across the Parity Project, I really wanted to apply, but because of my previous rejection, I thought, okay, people aren't going to like this idea. And so I actually waited until the day that the application was due to submit my idea, and something in me was just okay, you need to try, because you have a chance. Maybe your chance is low, but you're going to have a 0% chance if you don't try. And so I submitted my pitch like maybe an hour or two before the submission deadline and just crossed my fingers. And then when I got selected, it was just so, like, I was shaking, and I was just telling everyone, like, guess what? And so it was just really, it really, like, increased my boost my confidence because, as a chemist, my expertise is in chemistry, and so, my confidence in other skills is not as high as my confidence in chemistry, and, submitting my idea for this competition and actually winning really made me confident in like my other ideas and my ability to kind of go outside of the box or outside of my comfort zone. And so this competition overall has just been like really great for me. And so I would tell anyone who's interested in applying that like if they even have like 1% like faith that their idea is good, they should submit their idea because they never know how it's going to come across to someone else and how it can really help the community. Oh, sorry, that was kind of a long-winded answer.
No, it was perfect, Kiante. It was perfect. Thank you for that. You know what? It really spoke to the idea of like believing in yourself, right? And just trying, and the greatness like will be seen, right? You can't hide light under a bushel. We're gonna see it for sure. So thank you for sharing. And Kiante, any words you want to impart to the future beta cohort?
Yeah, definitely to echo Jasmine and Sanda. I feel like we all go through like seasons where we have imposter syndrome, right? Like we know we have great ideas, but sometimes just that doubt from inside, who knows where it came from, but that doubt inside kind of just tries to hinder you from like taking it to the next level. And so like my mentor had always told me there's two types of people in the world. There's dreamers and there's doers. You know, everybody dreams, everybody has great ideas, but who's actually going to go make it happen? And that's what Base 11 does. You know, a lot of programs and fellowships, they'll give you a portion of funding, but then it's kind of like, all right, here you go, figure out the rest on your own. You know, but Base 11, you know, they've connected us to mentors. You know, they've connected us to potential investors and a platform where we can take this to the next level. So all that to say, anybody that's on the bridge, on the fence about, you know, diving in, just do it. Just do it like Nike. You know, go for it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, you know, this could be a life-changing opportunity, you know, if you take advantage of it. So go for it.
I love that. Hashtag just do it. Shout out to Nike.
They need a sponsor.
Okay. As we're talking about that, right, we're talking about like the next generation, of course, you all are part of that. Bringing it to like a bigger scale, can you just talk to me about like what parity means to you, why it's important, and why you decided to dedicate your life to it almost, really, truly? Kiante, jump in.
Sure. So to me, parity means opportunity, I guess. A little bit about me. I grew up in Chicago, actually on the South Side, which a lot of people don't believe because I guess I don't fit the stereotype. But I grew up in a family of 7, and it was a real struggle. Like my dad usually had to work like 2 or 3 jobs at a time, and I just always wanted to have like more opportunity, and so throughout my life, I've kind of faced like a lot of disparity, like when it comes to academic opportunities, work opportunities, and so I wanted to set an example for especially young Black women to be able to overcome those disparities and like really go after their goals despite like what their background is. And so yeah, I just see like the world, like this competition has kind of opened my eyes to see that like people are actually making strides to really make equality for Black people in America, and I'm hoping to be part of that movement.
You definitely are. You definitely are, Chanda. For sure. Thank you. Jasmine, do you want to jump in and talk about what parity means to you and why it's important?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like growing up, I kind of grew up in a space where I was in, my school was really not diverse, I would say. I was only the only black kid in most of my classes. And when you got to honors classes, I was definitely the only black kid. And so, like, it really wasn't until I started getting to college and starting to explore, the fashion sides of me and all my passions, that I also realized that, like, there's not always people that look like me who are leading those industries I care about, right? When you think about luxury fashion, the luxury brands are not being led by people of color. And so that's when things started clicking for me. And that's when I realized that, as far as I'm ever going to advance my career or my personal goals, I also have to continue to think about how do I advance, parity for my people, and how do I make sure that the path is going to be better for people that look like me, that come after me. So all of that has just been continued to be important to me, and I think it's always going to be integrated in anything I do career-wise. How do we think about how do we make things, more equitable for everyone?
That's what I was Kiante, you going to answer that question and take it?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I always felt like technology could be kind of like the great equalizer in a way. Like for me, I've always had a passion for technology. I like, what's the next big thing? Like what's the next big mobile app? What's the next big wearable device? And I would like, even just when I was younger, I would spend hours on Yahoo Tech, just trying to get an idea like what the future would look like. And I feel like Black Americans have always been the pioneers of many of these, cutting edge technology concepts, but we don't always get the credit, or we don't always reap the benefits of it, right? Perhaps we had the idea, but we just didn't have the funding to implement the idea, or we didn't have the mentorship to implement the idea. They could have changed the trajectory of our whole generations, and our families wouldn't have to grow up in certain conditions. And so that's what Venture for Them was all about when I created that concept. Just ensuring that our workplaces, our companies, our culture, we receive the proper equity, we receive proper acknowledgement, the proper platform to boost up those around us. And so, when Black-owned businesses, Black-owned companies, they go on and they IPO, or they go on and they get acquired for billions of dollars, and that could be reinvested into our community and change generations, So ultimately, I feel like that's the goal of Parity, to bridge that wealth gap. And I think that we can do that through reinvesting in our community with the power of the Black dollar and, startup investing and through technology. So to me, that's what Parity is all about, just bridging that gap.
Beautiful, Kiante. So you're talking about bridging the gap. Shannon, you mentioned about and Jasmine, you hit on this too about representation. What do you believe is the biggest barrier to parity? Because we have the ears of institutions and sponsors right now. Any words of advice from someone in your position as an innovator and a leader?
I would say that self-doubt is a really big barrier. We all know that the system is kind of set up against us, but I think in a lot of ways, having the confidence to really overcome those obstacles is a key component of creating parity. Because for myself, just 10 years ago, my life is so different. I just had a birthday. I just turned 33. So 10 years ago, I wasn't 13. And so, yeah, so 10 years ago, my life was so different, but it was because I had so much self-doubt. I was, like Jasmine mentioned, I was surrounded by a lot of white people and not that many minorities or people of diverse backgrounds. And so really the representation that I was seeing was not inclusive to people like me. And so I really didn't believe in myself at all when it came to overcoming a lot of obstacles that Black people face in America. And so one of the things that really helped me overcome that hurdle was coming to UMBC, my university, because it's a very diverse campus. And so seeing Black professionals and Black professors, Black PhD students really helped encourage me. And so I think representation really matters when it comes to overcoming self-doubt. And this competition, I keep coming back to this competition, but this competition really has shown me that Black people can succeed outside of academia even, to be entrepreneurs and to really revolutionize the world.
That's beautiful, Kiante. Anyone else want to tackle that question?
I was just going to kind of jump in on the lines of what Kiante was talking about. And Kiante mentioned this earlier too, how imposter syndrome, a lot of us go through it. We're all dealing with it. And at least something that I think has helped me, and I think that we can all communicate forward, is the idea of finding mentors, both that look like you and don't, but especially the ones that do look like you. When I'm having those days where I'm wondering, like, am I actually going to be able to like swing it in this industry? Is this even making sense? Am I good enough? Having a good, strong community of people you can lean on, like even this group. I think this group, we've all been able to kind of encourage each other. And even though we're doing different things, just having a support system, having people who can mentor you, even laterally. I think all of that can really kind of help combat the imposter syndrome that a lot of us, I think, face regularly.
So mentorship and overcoming imposter syndrome by having a support network and also building a self-confidence. When you do affirmations, this period.
I try to, but I'm not consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, me either.
So I write like sticky notes of sometimes random encouragement, and I put them on my computer just to kind of give me like random like encouragement throughout the day sometimes. So my wife will come in laughing at me on certain things I write, but I feel like it subconsciously kind of helps a bit.
Now I have to ask you, can you give us an example of one of your affirmations?
Yeah, it'll be something super simple sometimes, like you're the man, you're doing the thing, keep pushing. And, not even nothing too wordy, just something simple like you doing it, keep pushing. Or certain goals, like one of my goals was to hit Forbes 30 under 30. So I had that on a sticky note for a while, and I would look at that like, all right, keep pushing because I'm getting closer to 30. So that means I need to pick up the speed, So just little things like that that kind of give me a timeline on, just applying pressure, just continue to apply pressure and make things happen.
Kiante, well, you're well on your way on that 30 under 30 list. Just want to let you know that.
I'm trying. I got like a couple years left. So
you do, and you work really hard. We see you. Something that's really silly that really works though is like after you brush your teeth, like give yourself a high five in the mirror. It sounds funny, but if you think about it, you've never given a high five under any circumstances other than like celebratory, and so your brain is hardwired to like celebrate, and it'll boost your mood. It works. I'm just gonna put that out there for anyone who wants to try holler at me. And we're coming at the end of our 30 minutes, and so I have a last question, and I just want to know, like, what inspires you to do the work that you do? You guys and gals are all super motivated, high achievers. You've accomplished a lot, and there's so much more that you're going to accomplish in the future. But what inspires you, and kind of like, how do you organize your life? How do you do it all? Because you guys are superhuman. Who wants to jump in?
I'll start. So really what motivates me is leaving behind a legacy. I'm not really sure what that looks like right now, but I definitely want, when people look back at like my life, they'll say, okay, she accomplished something like for the community primarily. And then also I just want to make the most of the time that I have here on earth, because the time that we have is very limited. And so I just want to make the most out of it. When it comes to time management, I use like planners and this app called Notion. If anyone's heard of it, like definitely, it's really helpful. And so, that's it for me.
Giving the tips and tricks away. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I can say on the planning aspect, I've started doing like my digital calendar and then my physical calendar, and I've realized having my like planner for all of my like personal ambitious goals, and then using my digital calendar for like all the meetings you actually need to go to. I feel like I've kind of liked that separation because it reminds me like, okay, I have like XYZ meeting, but then the like personal planner is like, why is this meeting important? What are you trying to gain from this conversation, from this session, whatever? So I really started liking that habit. And then I'm just gonna say I'm a supporter of sustainable lifestyles right now, guys. So I'm trying to get into like working out more and like setting aside time to not be pushing so hard, because I think, you know, when you're like this group, we're all really ambitious and high achieving, and we always want to go, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And at least since my move, I'm trying to be a lot better at saying like, yeah, you're gonna change the world one day, but like if you take a night off to go sleep, the world will still be ready for you to change it tomorrow. So I know that technically wasn't the question, but that is my plug. To anyone out there that feels like they need to keep pushing, like also please take care of yourself.
No, that's a perfect answer, and that's so true. I'm happy. I'm taking a tip off your book, Jasmine, just so you know. I'm going to get you off the back channel about your workout routine too. But I need some assistance. Anyway, moving on. Kiante.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, honestly, what inspires me, I just feel like everybody on this call, everybody at this conference inspires me. Like everybody who's intentional about making a change. You know, when we think about like what the next frontier means, I feel like it's not just something cute to brand, but like we're earnestly trying to like leave a legacy. You know, we're earnestly trying to take things to the next level so that the next generations can be better off than we are. And trying to touch base on that, you know, kind of just leaving that legacy. You know, what are you leaving when you leave this earth? Are you leaving it in a better condition? Are you just here to just be here? You know, everybody has a purpose. And so I feel like that's just what I'm big on. Just everybody here, you know, just inspiring me. I was inspired by how like Chanda won one of the most recent competitions. And I was like, oh, let me check the page again and find some more to participate in. Let me not just stop here. And then Jasmine, you know, being in grad school at Microsoft. So like, you know, all you guys, Gabby doing amazing things, running the program, you know, so like all of you guys, and then of course everybody at the conference, you know, who's intentional about leveling up, you know, bettering yourself and leaving a legacy for your generations to come. That's what inspires me. That keeps me pushing. You know, I feel like in a way it can be friendly competition, you know, and that just keeps people pushing and ultimately just being the best version of ourselves possible, you know.
Okay, that's beautiful. Listen, when you decide to run for mayor and president, you let me know. You know, Tora, I'm so serious.
I don't know if I want that stress, but I might be a CEO or something of that nature.
Okay, well, let us know, because some people are called.
Definitely. I appreciate you. I'm going to let you know.
Okay, bro. So, again, if you have all of our hearts and minds clear, any last feedback, words of encouragement and of advice. If not, I encourage you all to just talk about how those investors who are interested, how they can get in contact with you, any social media handles you want to share, so that we can get the conversation going and have people being able to touch base with you after this roundtable. So let us know. How can the people get in contact?
Me, I live on LinkedIn, so you can find me, Jasmine Backus, on LinkedIn. Please shoot me a message. I'm really responsive. Some people have already reached out to me about next year's PPIC competition, and I'm loving that. So please send the questions coming. I'm here. And then if you're interested in learning more about what I'm up to, check out my website, jasminebackus.com. That's another great way for you to get in touch with me and see what I'm doing.
Beautiful. And I have all of your LinkedIn's linked too.
Okay, perfect.
In the agenda. Chanda, how do we get in contact with you if not in LinkedIn?
Just basically repeating what Jasmine said, LinkedIn and my website, chandalorance.com. That's the best way to reach me. I'm on LinkedIn probably 10 times a day, so that's probably the best way to reach out to me.
Awesome. And they can contact you about Microhaven there too.
Yes, they can contact me about anything. If they want to talk about nanoparticles, if they want to talk about homelessness, that's the perfect way to reach me.
Kiante, how do we reach you?
Yep, same for us. I live on LinkedIn. Very, excited to connect with you guys. Also, aside from LinkedIn, you can follow us at Venture for Them, and also go to our website at ventureforthem.com. VENTURE 4THEM.com. That's where you can find all of our social media, how to reach out to us. We are fundraising for our next cohort, so definitely looking for additional investors, sponsors, mentors, maybe speakers for our workshops. So we'll be more than happy to connect with you guys.
Beautiful. And I know that these lovely ladies and gentlemen have inspired you to be a part of the Parity Project Innovation Challenge. So we have launched year 2. Go ahead to base11.com, search for Parity Project Innovation Challenge. You can sign up, go to base11.com/digital and sign up. What can you lose? Nothing. Nothing, but what can you gain? The world. That part. Thank you so much for joining us, Jasmine, Kiante, and Chanda. I hope you have a wonderful day and continue just being your inspirational, loving, innovative selves.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for hosting this amazing conversation.